Got an Artisan Cutlery piece here, and I have no idea what these numbers mean. I never do, but I'll give it to you. It's a 1702 PS-CF. I don't know. What's that mean? You tell me and we'll both know. But let's get it out of here. They have these neat little Crown Royal bags. Okay. What is this? Well, it's got a card. And of course, it says the model is a 1702 PS. It's D2 steel, carbon fiber. Yeah, okay. That's like, I mean, now we know it's D2. That's about all we learned right there. We already knew it was carbon fiber. All right, box is gone. Left nothing but us and the knife. Yeah, same thing. Model number, D2. I'm going to have to look up what it is because I can't just be calling it the 1702. I mean, I definitely could have purchased this on a visual, though, just looking at it. I mean, action's pretty good right there. Pretty snappy. I will say that that liner lock is pretty stiff. Yeah, that right there. It's kind of stiff. How about that? I mean, action's already improving. And I mean, it's a small knife, but it's got a large grip. Well, it's got a name. I got to find a name. Okay. It's the family tradition. It's the artisan tradition. Also known as the 1702 PS. Yeah, the artisan tradition. I did see where it comes in G2 or this carbon fiber. Mm-hmm. Well, man, let's get in it. Let's take it apart. Some knives I just don't dally with, and this is one of them. I'm just not going to tarry along the way. I'm just going to get down to business. Let's just get in it. Check that action. And that liner feels tight. And I think that's what's encouraging me to just get after it. It is, I mean, I'm trying to get my bearings here, but it's quite a bit inside the scale. Ooh, see how much tension it had? It like broke the knife in two. Yeah, I mean, I can take half of that off of there, and I think that'll improve this knife quite a bit. And it'll still lock up. It's just set really tight. And that happens, especially on budget knives. I'm not sure why. Maybe the assemblers go, I don't care, I'm just going to make it tight so that it's snappy. Yeah, that's about half of it gone right there. It didn't take much. It's not super stout steel right here. And I mean, there's a little bit of lube on them bearings. So we'll see. See if I like it better. Somebody mentioned me recently. It's like, man, you don't lay out a lot of criticism on the knives. Like you go to other channels and they'll just dog them. And they'll go, let's start the good and the bad, that kind of thing. And they were kind of like, man, you don't do that. And I'm like, yeah, no, I don't. I more accentuate the positives and de-emphasize the negatives, I mean, I'm pretty sure if I try hard enough, I can find something I don't like about just about every piece I touch. I'm trying to find the things that I like. Is there something about it that I like? And like life. I mean, I may have a job to where I learned to make I learned to make lists and balance things a long time ago in my life. It's like, well, I'm not happy with my job. Well, I'm going to make a list that lists out, five positives and five negatives about my job and see if they don't balance, or if they're out of balance, which way? Is it truly negative, or is it the way I'm looking at it? Is it my perspective? Because my perspective has gotten me into more trouble in my life, whether it's mentally, physically, emotionally. I mean, because of the way that I saw it. And so I have trained myself through time where I'm not focusing on negatives. I'm looking for the positives, and if I find enough positive in something, honestly, I can get to a place I don't even got to look at the negatives. You know, I mean, man, I tell you what, it's a good thing my kids, my family, my wife, um, choose not to look at the negatives concerning their husband, their father. Because, man, I got plenty of reasons for them to be critical of me. I have not been a very good person for most of my life. And fortunately for me, my family chooses to highlight the positives, de emphasize the negatives. It's just the way that I choose to roll today. I don't have time for negative, bunch of unnecessary. What is that? Is that some? I got to try to get that off. I'm not even sure what that is. It got past me. It's like gum or something here. Grease. It's coming off. Interesting. And it's been ground down here. Like there's some grinding going on there. I'm not sure what all that's about. But whatever that stuff was, it's gone. All right. Weird. Stop pin fell out. Come on, man. I mean, oof. It's been a training process to try to find the positives in things in life around me, work, people. Because I am incredibly adept at finding the negatives. I developed a problem solving course for, come on, man. Wish I could solve the problem of putting this scale on this piece. How about that? A long time ago, and I shared it with my employees. I had a bunch of employees at the time. And so I created a little how to solve problems, and it was for like, lower mid-level management personnel that worked for me, trying to, manage the terrain in which they found themselves. And the fundamental way that it worked was rather than trying to look for the solution, think about how you can make it worse. Because for some reason, man, as human beings, we can make things worse in a blink of an eye. Like we're predispositioned, to go into a fire and then pull out a hand grenade. It's the weirdest thing, and I use some simple examples like credit card debt. You know, listen, if you had credit card debt and it was becoming a problem, list out, 5 ways that you can make it worse. Well, keep charging, man. Number one, um, don't pay your bills on time. Scan the internet for new purchases, things that you desire, that kind of thing. But it's pretty easy to think of ways to make something worse. Well, here's what I know, that if you find the ways to make something worse, do the opposite. The universe is full of opposites. So if the number one way you can make it worse is continue to charge, well, I can assure you that the number one way to make it better is stop using the card. Well, what's the best way to do that? Get rid of it, man. Cut it in half. But if you need to save it for emergencies, take it out of your pocket. Make sure it's not stored in your computer. That kind of thing. Make sure that you have to like get it out of a briefcase or a gun safe or whatever, where a bottom of a drawer, so that you have to use it. If you make it readily available and keep it in your phone, what's going to keep you from using it when in the end you're trying to get out from underneath it? And so, anyways, the core to the whole thing was everything in the universe has opposites, and we're predispositioned to think of the negatives in a situation. Like it just comes natural to us. We can find the bad in a situation, a knife, instantly, so quickly. It's way more difficult to accentuate the positives, to live in a space that says, well, what's good about it? Right? So, yeah, I'm glad I shared all that. Aren't you glad I shared all that? Stupid, man. All right. Well, I will say one thing. I am not a master fan of smooth carbon fiber, but this is pretty nice stuff. And it fits this smaller knife pretty well. I don't know, that wasn't really negative, was it? It was kind of a positive. Let's talk about this action. So it's pretty snappy. Um, Now that I've cleaned it up, I took a little bit off of that detent. And because I did that, let's make sure I didn't I didn't create any issues. The truth is, I probably could take a little more off of that, and I'll bet this knife would just freewheel. I think if I get the lock out of the way, that the blade's just free as a bird. Yeah, I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, look at it. There's no tension on the blade at all. But there's so much tension on this liner lock that it's slowing everything down. It's binding up the knife a little bit. I mean, it is running really well. I could make it drop shut. That's what I'm saying. I could make it stunning. I'm not going to mess with it any further, though. Pretty snappy. And one little shake and it'll close all the way. Um, as far as how would I grade it, it's a B. B level action. Yeah. Is it capable of being A level? Probably. Needs a little tuning. Let's talk about ergonomics. So one of the things I think that was attractive to me about this knife is because it comes down. And so overall in hand, the main direction of this is down. It's slightly down from center the tip, or from the top anyways. It doesn't follow the line across the top. It's a drop point, but I think you know what I'm saying. Looking at the knife, the shape of that, and I think it's attractive to me. I dig it. Locked in, not so confident, very confident. mean, this is a confident grip, and it's climbing towards very confident, really locked in here, very comfortable. I do feel the pocket clip a little bit here, but it's not hot. It would not keep me from putting work in. Like, it's not going to make me let go. I just notice it there. Speaking of the pocket clip, let's run it. The amount of tension that's on it, I think it's going to run wonderfully. Let's find out. Yeah, over the thick stuff, there's so much tension that on the thick stuff, that triple stitch, it is catching the screws. So the clip and the screws are not recessed. And so with that tension, it's catching that thick material, not allowing it to go all the way in. Now on standard jean size material, all the way home, good tension. Yeah, it's in there pretty good. I like it. I would not call this a dryer clip. I think it could be, or definitely be closer to it if I added a little tension to it, but it's pretty solid. I think if I put that there, it's going to stay there even if I shake it out. Well, I mean, it's working its way out. So, I mean, it could take a little tension for sure. I mean, I'm just going to do it. Okay, I don't know why, but I just had this horrible lazy moment, but I threw some tension on this, and so now, yeah, it's a dryer clip. And it didn't take much. I don't know why I got lazy. It's hard to explain, but yeah, it didn't move a centimeter. That thing is locked in there. It just needed some tension put on it. Let's check it for safety. Yeah, no blade contact there. The tip is recessed, so the clip is awesome now. The tip is good, and I'm confident that I can handle this knife any which way. As long as that blade is closed like so, the knife is safe. Yep. So the action's improved. The clip is wonderful. Ergonomics are solid. I wonder if it's sharp. Got a tiny little piece of paper for a small knife. Yeah, I mean, it's that kind of sharp. It's good sharp. So, yeah, Best Tech Traditions, price and availability. So, White Mountain Knives has this knife in a G10 configuration. Exact same knife, just G10 scales. The carbon fiber version is not available. The carbon fiber version was like 70 some dollars. The G10 version is like 50 something. So if you wanted the G10 version, you're probably around $45 with the discount code of DM10. This one's probably going to end up in the purge for somewhere around 35 bucks. That's what I'm thinking. Yep. And is it a $35 knife? I mean, I think that's a reasonable price for it. 35 bucks. Come on. Donate a little shipping. That seems like a fair deal. All right. Hey, I appreciate you all checking it out with me. Watch for it in the purge if you're interested.